On today's how page, we're using an airless paint sprayer. We're going to go over how to prime it. This is the Graco X7. I'm also going to test to see whether the Avanti brand tip and filter and guard fit on the Graco X7. These are the Harbor Freight brands for their airless paint sprayer, which I've been told don't buy. This is my tried and true X7. To prime the Graco X7, you're going to need a bucket full of water and a bucket to put waste stuff into. I should note that the Graco X7 comes with a great quick guide, which is what you should follow on the specific instructions with great pictures on how to do everything. It's like 2 pages long, one of the best instruction manuals I've seen. There's a link to it if you've lost yours in the description. And if you're thinking about buying one, it gives you an idea of how to use it. So normally when you're using the Graco X7, you're gonna have your drain tube and your paint suction tube in the same bucket. But during startup, you're going to move the paint suck-up tube over to a water-filled bucket. I should note that if you were spraying something besides a water base, but I always spray latex, so it's gonna be water. The quick start guide from Graco on how to do that tells what other substances you can spray, but for latex paint, start with water. On the side of the paint sprayer, there's a prime pump switch, which you're gonna switch up here. And then when you go to spray it after it's primed, you'll just flip it down. But for our priming, leave it up here. On the other side, next to the on-off switch, is a little button. If you push this, there's some little ball in there, and if it's been stored for a while, that helps loosen things up. You're gonna adjust your spray level down to its lowest level, the amount of pressure here, and then you're just gonna fire it up. Okay, and then what you will see here, you actually do have to roll the roller, I guess, a little bit, is that you have water flowing out of your drain. So the pump is sucking through here and into your bucket. So after you've done that for 30 to 60 seconds, you're gonna turn the pump back off and go get the paint bucket to put it in. One note, make sure you put the head in the waste bucket or somewhere, because if you've stored it, you can see that blue liquid, that's pump armor that comes with that you buy and put in the pump when you're storing it, and so that liquid tends to leak out, so you want to have it somewhere where you're not going to leak all over your floor. Next, I like to take and drain that excess water that's still in that paint suction tube into the waste bucket. Then set the paint tube down into the paint. Now you can spray from a gallon bucket, but I find it more useful to spray from a 5-gallon bucket. It just happens that I'm not priming this whole job, just a couple spots, and so that's why I'm using a gallon. I'm just gonna flip the switch on and run this until paint comes out of here. Then stop it as soon as you see paint coming out of the drain tube. All right, you could run it for longer, but every instant you run it longer, you are losing paint. If you want to keep stuff in there, by the way, you flick this switch down and that pressurizes it. Okay, so now we're gonna replace the filter and the guard and the tip here with the Avanti. And here we go. So the Avanti filter does appear to be a little bit shorter, but pretty much the same diameter as that original filter that was in there. So I'll let you know at the end of the video how it sprays. It just slips right in there. And the head screws on. There's this little piece that needs to go in like that. That little piece has to be rotated such that it allows that circle for the tip to pass through into. Then the guard screws on. Then the tip goes right down into the hole. Should mention that you absolutely don't want to do this with pressure in the gun.
Apparently you get some pretty bad paint injection wounds if it happens to shoot at your skin from a close area, close location. Anyways, it has a spray direction, but actually for priming it, we're going to flip this around backwards. At least that's how you did it with the Graco tips. And that's kind of to allow you to clear clogs. It also allows a greater pass through of paint. So now we're going to go ahead and start bringing paint through our sprayer. That means we're going to turn it on just like we did before, but we're going to then flip that nozzle down to push the pressure through the gun. To avoid wasting paint, you should move the drain tube back into the paint container. Okay, so it appeared we were having some issues, so I took the Avanti guard off. I don't know if it's the guard or if there was just stuff, some debris left in the lines. We'll find out here. So we're going to spray until paint comes out. We have that pump armor. We have certain points we should start getting paint. Alright, there we go, we got paint. So I was having some troubles with that Avanti guard, but I'm thinking it was a clog in there. You do definitely have to press that spray tip down. And all right, so let's see if we got it fixed now. And yep, we are spraying paint, so good deal. So apparently the Avanti parts work. And that's your how page for today. Maybe a quick update after this to say how it sprayed on the wall. So the Avanti guard did end up leaking the spray tip I could use, but the guard didn't seem to fit.